Welcome back to my channel. Today we're making red dress earrings. You'll need some needles in either size 10 or size 12. These are a couple of my favorites. I'll have links for everything below. You'll also need some Nymo thread in size B for Breanna. You'll also need either some beeswax or some fireline thread. The reason we need this is for the bead weaving to make the top of the dress. This is going to help you maintain your tension and get a nice flat piece and not struggle as much as you would using unwaxed thread. To get started, you're going to want to grab about 4 or 5 feet of thread and your needle and get threading. Pull your thread all the way through your needle so it's folded in half. If you're using fireline, you'll be grabbing that instead to do this first part. But if you're just using Nymo, you then want to take your beeswax, heat it up a little bit with a lighter to soften that wax up, and then you're going to pull about 1 to 2 feet of your thread through it. So you can see here I have one end of the thread, and I'm just going to grab about a foot, and then we're going to pull it through. We do not want this wax to be on our fringe area, so really only do the first foot or two. To start, we're going to grab 4 beads to do a double stack base. I find this is the easiest. Pull those beads down to the end of your thread and leave about a 6 to 8 inch tail, like I have right here. There's no need to knot the thread or anything. Now what we're going to do is create a loop. So you can see we have 4 beads here. I want to go through these bottom 4 next to the tail. So you see when I pull the thread, like so, those beads are going to sit next to each other like this. So you can see creating kind of a square shape. Then you're going to take your needle and go down through those 2 beads that are looking a little funky. Hold them between your fingers when you pull the thread and pull very lightly. You don't want to be too harsh on this first row as it is our base. So you can see right there, this is how you should be looking. And you can see we have our tail thread over here and then our main thread with the needle on the right side here. So this is how I'm holding it. And then we're going to go up through the first 2 beads again and down through the second 2 beads. This is just to make sure we're a little extra secure. Again, this is going to make it easier as a beginner. Once we've done that, we can start building this row. So now we're going to take 2 beads and add it. To do that, I'm going to grab my beads right here, and then you can see we're coming through the bottom of the beads, so we want to put our needle through the top, creating a loop or a circle. And as you pull, you'll see we've created a little circle, and as we continue to pull, those beads should sit right next to the other ones, parallel to them. They might look a little funky, as you can see here, but again, we're going to go up through these beads, and that's how we add to our base row. Add 2, create a circle, and then go up through the bead like this. So let's do that one more time. 2 beads, we're going to create the loop by going through the bottom of the beads like this. Pull nice and tight until they are parallel, and then go down through the bead. Just like that. And we're going to repeat that 5 more times until our base row is 9 beads across. This is what it should look like. Make sure to double check and count, as well as you'll notice since we have an odd number, the tail thread is coming out the bottom and the main thread out the top. So just to, again, secure this, we're going to go through and just weave our needle back and forth until we get back to the left side. Again, this is going to help you have a nice sturdy base row, and it's going to make it a lot easier to do the rest of the bead weaving. Note, if you're using fireline, you do not need to do this step. You probably won't have room to fit the fireline thread through this one more time, but if you are using Nymo, please go ahead and do this. And this is what it'll look like once you've finished weaving through. Now we're going to start our next row. So we're going to grab 2 beads. The rest of our project is going to be a single stack, so whenever we start a new row, we start with double the beads. You can see here between the beads we have these little loops, these stitches, and this is what we're going to use to anchor. So I'm going to go right here and count. We have 2 beads, and then we're going to go, so you can see there's the first loop, second, third, fourth, etc. We're going to start by going through the second loop. 2 beads, second loop. Like this, pull very carefully, do not pull too tight, and hold your piece with your fingers to make sure it's secure. And then we go up through that second bead, and you'll see it just anchors it down onto that stitch, like so. They don't sit perfectly flat, so what we're going to do is secure them. So I'm going to go down through that bead on the left side. Again, be careful with your thread, pull very lightly, and then go up through the bead on the right side. This is just going to secure it and make sure that they are sitting really nicely. You'll see in a moment as we pull it, they're going to look beautiful. Like so. Now they're sitting much more flat. That was the trickiest part. From here on, we're going to grab one at a time, and we're going to repeat that process. So we're going to go through the next little loop like this, pull our thread, and then we're going to go up through that bead to secure it. Just like that. And that's all we have to do. We're going to do this all the way across until we have done all 8 beads and there are no more loops. So one more time, grab one bead, go through the next loop with your needle, and then put your needle up through the bead to secure it. Like this. Ta-da! And here is the last bead, like so. And there we are. So you'll see when we do this method, we are going down one bead at a time. So our first row had 9, this one has 8. Okay, to start a new row again, we want 2 beads and to go through that second loop. We always start with twice as many beads, and we always go through that second loop when we start a new row, when we are decreasing our beads as we are here. I'm going to show you how I like to secure them one more time. So we're going to go up through the bead, pull it nice and snug. Again, very light hand. And then we're going to go and get these sitting more properly. So I'm going to go down through the bead on the right side and then up through the bead on the left. Again, be very, very gentle with this step and hold all of your work between your fingers to prevent any issues from occurring. So you'll see this is what we're looking like. So we have a little pyramid shape that we're creating, kind of a triangle. Now that we've gotten to our 5 bead row, we're going to start increasing our beads. So just as normal, we're going to start with 2 beads on our needle to start a new row. But instead, since we are increasing, we are going to go through the first loop. So carefully pull your thread through that first loop. I'm just holding it with my finger here to make sure I don't pull anything loose, like so, and then go up through the bead on the left side. This can be a little bit hard to see, but you want to make sure to go in the bead that is on the inside, not on the outside. And I'm just going to reposition with my fingers and pull kind of tighter, like so, until it's sitting properly. And you can see now how it's staggered, still in a brick stitch, but now it is increasing. Then we're going to go ahead, add 1 bead at a time to the rest of the row, and then we have another bead at the end that we'll have to do in a funky way, and you'll see that in one moment. So now we're adding our 5th bead. So you can see we have now the same amount as the last row. We aren't increasing yet until we add a 6th bead to this end as well. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just grab 1 bead, but we're going to go through the same loop we just did right underneath that existing bead. And this one can be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure you'll get it. So just carefully pull your thread. If you have any knots, simply pull them apart so they are looser, and then pull your thread through. And you'll see right here, I'm just going to push it to the side and then go up through the bead to try and position it where it should be sitting. So you'll see like this. It's kind of a little bit wobbly, but that's okay. So now we have a row of 5 and then a row of 6. We're going to do this again. We want to increase our beads until we get back up to 9, just like our base row, to create the hourglass effect of the waistline. This is what it should be looking like once we get back up to 9 beads across. This is our hourglass, and then we're going to decrease again to create the bust area. So 2 beads, second loop, you know the drill, and then go up through the second bead, and then you can do an extra stitch to secure them. Continue beading all the way across, and we're going to do this row of 8 and then a row of 7, and then we are going to do another modified stitch. And this is what you should be looking like. Now we're going to create these straps of the dress. So we're going to do a decreasing row as normal, 2 beads, second loop, and go through like so. Then we're going to add 1 more bead. So this way we have a row of 3. And here it is. So you can see on the right side we have a small row of 3. Now we're going to add another row on top. Again, starting with 2 beads, and we don't have much of a choice here. go through the second loop and then up through that bead like so. Like this, and you can see the straps are starting to take form. I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm actually going to skip ahead and do a double stack. As we can see here, I'm just comparing it to the original earring to make sure everything's looking right. So to easily add to our row, we're going to grab 4 beads and do a double stack to create that strap. So there we go, 4 beads, and instead this time I'm just going to go down through the bead on the other side. Since we are not increasing or decreasing, we are doing the same amount of numbers. We're doing kind of a faux stacked stitch here like this, and then I'm going to go up through the right side, pull it tight like this, and you can see our little strap, and I'm just going to do a couple more stitches to make sure it's secure. So I'm going to go down 2 beads and then up 2 beads like that. And now we have a nice looking little strap. Now we're going to do the strap on the left. So I'm going to put my needle down through all those double stacks as well as our row of 3. And then I'm going to weave my needle down into the row below, then go down into the row below it like this. So I'm just weaving my way and then up through the bead to its left and then up through that center bead one more time, creating kind of a little loop right here just so my needle is in the exact place that I want it, right here. So now we're going to start a new row again, 2 beads, and then add it right here to our second loop. So we're just doing the same thing, but this time on the left side to create our left strap. This side is basically the exact same thing, but I did it a little bit different here, so I'll show you again if you'd like, or you can skip ahead. Then add 1 more bead to the end like this, and we have our second row of 3. There we go, and you should see a small gap between the two. It's not super visible on my pair of earrings, but you'll see it kind of creates the V-neck of the dress. On this side, I did it even simpler. I'm going to do a triple stack. This way, we only have to do it in 1 step. So we're going to go through the second loop, since we're starting a new row, like so, and then up through all 3 of those beads on the right side. And then we'll go down them and secure them as we did the other side. So I'm going to go down through the whole section one more time, and then I'm going to go up just 2 beads this time, like so, and then down 2 beads, and you'll see that that gap will slowly disappear as we do these little stitches. Once we're happy with how the strap looks, we can now add our little loop to put our earring hook on. So I'm going to go up through the right side of our left strap, like this. And then we're going to create a little loop that's going to connect these 2 straps together. For this, I'm going to use silver beads to differentiate it from the dress. You can use the same color or any other accent color of your choice. So I'm going to grab about 6 beads to go across, like this. And then we're going to just simply jump to the right strap and put our needle down through the left side of the right strap this time, like so. And you'll see we've got a nice little loop to put our earring hook on. And then I'm going to go through it one more time by weaving up the other strap and then up through those beads to make it a little bit extra secure. I really recommend this. Sometimes your earring hook can fall off if your thread isn't thick enough. And so we're going to add another time. You could do it a 3rd time if you want as well. Again, skip the step if you are using Fireline. Now that we've added the loop, our top of the dress is officially done. So I'm going to weave my way to the left side here, just so that I can easily make my way down to our base row. And then we can start adding our fringes to add the skirt of the dress, which is the easiest and most fun step in my opinion. And here we are down at the base of the dress like so, and there's the little top. Let me tell you, the hardest part is done. Now is the fun and easy part, adding the fringe. So I have these 2 examples right here. I am going to create a pair that matches the longer side right here by using a bunch of different bead colors to create an interesting fringe, like so. You can also keep it simple like the example I have on the left, or do any pattern of your liking. This is totally up to you. Feel free to use the pattern that I have provided down below to print out and color and plan your design. Once we have our fringe all done, we're going to grab stopper beads at the bottom to keep everything together. I'm doing a 3-bead stopper just underneath this bugle bead right here, and I'll show you it creates a pretty little effect that I wanted to do for these earrings. As you can see on my examples as well, it's really prominent in that pair with the gold beads at the bottom. It creates kind of a fun little flourish. If you do not add a stopper, all your beads will fall off, so this is very important that you do this. Then just continue pushing your needle all the way up through the beads and then through the 2-bead base row that we did. Again, to secure this design like so, go up through those 2 beads, and then we're going to go down through the 2 beads next to it to create our next fringe. Hold on to your stopper beads at the bottom and pull that thread to make sure it's secure. Don't pull it too tight and don't pull it too loose. You'll kind of figure it out as you work. I'm also going to adjust these little beads down here to make them look nice. And you'll see how mine is falling nice and beautifully. Make sure to pull it nice and tight. And then go down through the next bead. And we're going to repeat this process again, creating our pattern. So just keep adding your fringes like so, and it's super easy. The next thing to show you is what to do with when you run out of thread. This is our tail thread that's been sitting here, so we're going to deal with this to get it out of the way. So of course you're going to thread your needle to put it on there, and then we are going to weave it. All you have to do is, just like we did when we moved from the strap to the bottom, is weave our needle between the beads to hide that thread, like so. So you can see I'm just moving up the bodice of the dress until I have a little more area to work. And then we can do a little kind of zigzag to create the effect of a knot. So you can see right here, now I'm going to go downwards, then upwards, creating a zigzag effect like so. And I'm just going to do this until I know my thread is nicely secured. So just keep on zigzagging until you feel happy with the results. Once your weaving is secure, you can trim off the excess, and then you can also use a lighter to burn it and get it really nice and close up to those beads so your thread isn't poking out. Now to add thread, as you see, we'll need a little bit more to add the rest of our fringes. Grab your thread. You're going to wax like the last few inches of it, maybe like 3 or 4 inches, just to make sure that it's nice and secure as we weave it in, like so. So just like we did with our tail thread, we're going to find a spot and then go up a couple beads like so. I'm going to pull this most of the way through with a tiny little tail and then do a little bit more weaving. So you can see right here, I'm leaving like an inch or 2. And then we're going to go through a few more beads like so. And then we can pull our thread. And then we can pull that tail so there's a little bit less of it kind of flopping out of the beadwork. Like you'll see right here. Like that. So just do this very carefully. You don't want to pull it out, otherwise you obviously have to start again. And again, I'm going to make sure that we have sufficiently done enough kind of zigzagging around here so that this thread doesn't fall out and we subsequently lose all of our fringe. That would be awful. Once you've done enough weaving, make your way back down to that base row so we can continue on with our fringe. And here we are, all of our fringes added. And again, just do another zigzag to finish off your thread, and then you'll be all done. Pop some earring hooks on, and here they are, the finished earrings. I really hope you loved this video and it was helpful to you. Let me know what tutorial you want me to do next. Don't forget to subscribe and have a beautiful day.